Hey guys, welcome back to the Curly Reader. My name's Amanda, and today I want to share with you all of the books that I pre-ordered in 2021. All right, so this year I did something for the first time, and I actually pre-ordered some books. I had never really pre-ordered books before. I typically don't buy books full price anyway. I don't buy new releases, and so to pre-order something, pay full price for it is just kind of not in my nature of doing things. But this year I started doing anticipated releases, and as I was digging into some of the new books coming out, I got really excited for some, and I thought it would be fun to, like, each quarter as I was doing anticipated releases, to pick a couple of my favorites and pre-order them. And so that's what I did. I actually have a stack of books here that I ended up pre-ordering because, just like some of the ones that I was getting excited about, also if I found out that a favorite author or a sequel to a book or something like that was coming out, I pre-ordered it because I kind of realized the importance of that this year. I don't know why it never really dawned on me before, but pre-orders matter to authors. And so for the authors that I really felt like I wanted to support, I felt the need or the desire to pre-order things this year. So all of that to say, I did pre-order a few things this year. So yeah, let's just kind of get into this and I'll show you what I got. The first book that I want to talk about is one that I pre-ordered. It was released in February. I read it and I have since unhauled it, and that is Muse by Brittany Cavallaro. And yeah, I did not like this book. This is a historical fantasy that takes place around the World's Fair in the Midwest, and it's just this fantasy world. It had a lot of feminist vibes in it, too much for my taste. It was very, I don't know, it just was not my cup of tea. We'll just say that. So I unhauled it, but that was the first one that I pre-ordered. It was a YA fantasy, and I read that one during Historathon back in February. Another one that I pre-ordered this year was Witches of Brooklyn, the second Witches of Brooklyn graphic novel. What the Hex? This is a middle grade graphic novel series. This is the second one, like I said. The first one was my favorite graphic novel of last year, and so yeah, as soon as I realized this was coming out this year, I went ahead and pre-ordered it. I really like this one. I didn't like it as much as the first one, but I still really liked it, and I have read this one already. Another one that I pre-ordered is Adam 2 by Alastair Chisholm. This is one that I read Orion Lost during middle grade March, and then looked up to see if Alastair Chisholm had anything else out, and he had one that was coming out soon, and so I went ahead and pre-ordered it. I pre-ordered it through Book Depository because Alastair Chisholm is a UK author. This was a UK release, and so I have not read this one yet. This is one of the few on this list I have not read. I've read most of these, which I'm actually kind of surprised. I didn't realize that when I decided to do this video. I just made a list of all of them. I went through kind of my purchase history and made a list, and I was like, oh wow, I actually have read most of these. Pat on the back. But this is one that I have not read yet. This is middle grade sci-fi, and it has to do with with Adam 2, who has been locked in the basement of a lost building for over 200 years. He emerges into a world ruined by civil war between humans and AI, or advanced intelligence. He's hunted by both sides, and he discovers he holds the key to the war and the power to end it, but he has to decide whose side he's on. So, got that one. Another one that I read recently is Between Shades of Grey, the graphic novel adaptation. Between Shades of Grey is my favorite Ruta Sepetys book. Ruta Sepetys is probably my favorite YA author. It's historical fiction. Like I said, this is the graphic novel adaptation of her novel, and this was really good. This follows Lena, who in 1941 is taken from her home in Lithuania, and is sent to a Siberian work camp during World War II, and it just kind of follows her life there. She's 15 at the beginning of the book, and I read this one during Historathon in November and really, really loved it. So definitely got that one. Another one that I pre-ordered that I was really excited about is Kaleidoscope by Brian Selznick. I am a fan of Brian Selznick. I was going to say I'm a huge fan of Brian Selznick. I'm a fan of the concept of Brian Selznick. I really, really love Wonderstruck. The Invention of Hugo Cabret, I think is the name of the book, was good. I was not a fan of the Marvels, and this one, I tried starting this one and I DNF'd it, and I'm trying to decide if I'm gonna unhaul it or if I'm gonna go back to it. I have not decided yet. So the premise of this one is that, just like a kaleidoscope, every time, like at the beginning of each like section, there's a kaleidoscope print. Brian Selznick does illustrations and all, like full page like this illustrations in all of his books. They're typically really thick, and pretty much half of it's illustrations and half of it's text. But this one, it's smaller, first of all, and then you get these kaleidoscope illustrations, and then after that you get a very, very short little snippet of a story that typically like 3 or 4 pages long, and then you get another, oh my goodness, I'm having trouble. Yeah, so that's the end of it, and then you get another kaleidoscope, and then you get another illustration with another like 3-page little snippet, and they're kind of like short stories, but not really, and none of them are really related, and it was just too abstract for me. I didn't really understand it, so I think this one was just a little too out there for my taste. I'm really upset because it sounded like a really, really cool concept. The premise of the book basically says that in Kaleidoscope, the incomparable Brian Selznick presents the story of 2 people bound to each other through time and space, memory and dreams. At the center of their relationship is a mystery about the nature of grief and love, which will look different to each reader. And I know he wrote this during like quarantine, and it's just too, I don't know how I feel about that one yet. We'll see. All right, another one that I got and loved is Being Clem by Lisa Klein Ransom. This is the 3rd installment in the first one was Leaving Langston. I don't actually know. Oh, it says the Finding Langston trilogy, so I guess this is the last one. I'm still holding out hope that they're gonna do one more with one of the other characters, but we'll see. The other 2 books in this series are Finding Langston and Leaving Lyman, which I adored, and so when I saw this one was coming out, I pre-ordered it right away. And I really, really like this one too. This is historical fiction. It takes place right after World War II, and just follows this little boy Clem who lives in Chicago, and it's all about family and heritage and overcoming your fears, and it was really, really good. I really liked it, and this whole trilogy as a whole is probably one of my favorite middle grade like series ever. I love them, and the audiobooks are fantastic. They're so good. All right. Another one I pre-ordered at the very beginning of the year is The One Thing You'd Save by Linda Sue Park. I did not realize when I ordered it was going to be so short, but you know, it is what it is. This is a book in verse that is heavily illustrated, and this is all about the premise of this teacher who gives an assignment to her kids to come up with the one thing you would save in a fire. If your house were to catch on fire, what is the one thing you would save? And it can't be like family members or pets. I think we're assumed that they are already safe. You can pick one thing. What is it? And it goes through each of the kids and what they pick and why. And it's told in a specific style. Yeah, the line structure from Shizo. It's an ancient form of traditional Korean poetry. A classic Shizo has 3 lines of 13 to 17 syllables. Sometimes the 3 lines are divided into 6 shorter ones. A few of the poems in the book were written using both short and long lines. Anyway, so it's told in that traditional Korean style of poetry, but it was really good. I really, really, really liked it. This is one I'm keeping for sure. All right, and then the last one that I pre-ordered is one that I just got in the mail this past week because the release date kept getting pushed back and pushed back and pushed back and pushed back. But during the inauguration in January, I ordered Amanda Gorman's book of poetry. This is Call Us What We Carry. The original title was The Hill We Climb, which was the title of her poem that she read during the inauguration, but then it changed titles, and then the publication date kept getting pushed out, and it's finally here, so I can read it. But I am so excited because I loved the poem that she read during the inauguration. I'm actually hoping that I can find this on audio, and I'm hoping that she narrates it, because her spoken word poetry is so beautiful, and I am jazzed to have this. And like, I'm looking through it, and like, there's images, some of it is like on darker pages, like it goes from black and then to gray and then lighter gray and then to white. Like, it's just, yeah, the layout of some of this it's just really cool. I'm very, very glad that I have it in hand, but I also am very interested in the audio as well, assuming that she narrates it. I'm just assuming. If she doesn't, then, we'll see. Anyway, but this was the last one that I have had pre-ordered since January, and it finally came. So those are all of the books that I pre-ordered in 2021. I'm excited to continue doing this in 2022. Like I said, as I come across, I do already have a couple pre-ordered for 2022, Rudis Apetis. And I do have one more book that I'm expecting this year that I had pre-ordered, but it's for my kids, and it is the next Wings of Fire graphic novel. That's another one that the publication date got pushed. It was supposed to be here by now. It's not coming till after Christmas. It's not a big deal. I understand, like, publication, man, right now has gotten hit hard with all the shortages and stuff, so I am not complaining in any way, shape, or form. But I do have that one coming for my daughters as well. They're really into the Wings of Fire graphic novel series. So the 5th one is coming out end of December, so I do have that one pre-ordered as well. But yeah, and then I have a couple already ordered for 2022. I'm very excited. So anyway, I am, like I said, looking forward to continuing this into 2022. Do you guys pre-order books? If so, where did you pre-order them through? What is a book that, like, what is a qualification for a book for you to pre-order it? Does it have to be like a must-buy author? Is it influence? Is it cover buys? Like, what do you do? Let me know. And yeah, that's going to do it for today. I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope that you stick around and subscribe. And until next time, see ya.